Happy Friday, everyone. There it is. Oh, good, because you know I went back on there the other day and my volume was gone again off of my microphone. I don't know why it does that. I don't know if it's when my computer restarts for updates or something that my microphone changes and oh, I'm not seeing anything on here. What is going on? I know you're there. Oi. Oh, now my camera's frozen. What? Are we kidding? Which plug? Did I move it? Could have. Well, we were working a couple minutes ago. Hi. Let's see if I can get that back. There it is. Woohoo! Oh my goodness. What would it be without a challenge every day, right? Right. Yep. Okay. Now, do we still have volume? Let me check. Yes, we do. Oh, how's everybody on a Friday? I'm Diane from Boho Stamper. Thanks for stopping by. If you've been with me before, welcome back. And if you're new, hi. So if you've watched me before, you know that I also like to, I know mostly on Fridays we get together and make a card, but I also like to make journals. And I had been doing an Alice in Wonderland journal that I kept Wednesday videos to. Well, those were only getting a few views, and so I decided I wasn't going to spend time doing a video when I could just work on those things by myself. Anywho, while I was getting stuff ready for my next journal, which is a Boho Journal, which was exactly the very first thing I ever wanted to do when I started journaling, and here I am 6 books later, and I'm finally getting to it. Anyways, I had collaged a bunch of boards so that I can cut them and make tags and journal cards and so on as I need them. And while I was doing that, I was thinking, you know, why didn't I ever do that for cards? You know, because I like to collage. And we so many times end up with these little tiny bits of paper that we don't know what to do with, that collage is a good solution. And I was afraid that my camera was up too high. And then when hubby and I took a ride last weekend and we went out to this one antique mall that we like to go to, didn't find what we were looking for there, so stopped on the way back at an indoor flea market that we go to about once a year, and I ended up finding some pressed dried flowers. And of course, you know, in those little flea market things, if you buy more, they give you a discount. You know, you just haggle a little bit. Well, now I have all these dried flowers that are going to last me probably a lifetime, because I really didn't want that many, but Hubs likes to get a bargain. So now I have a whole bunch of flowers. Anyway, so I thought today, let's collage a card and add some of these flowers. I took the cardboard thingy off because it was all crinkled up there, but I didn't open the package. So there were 3 colors. I have like a burgundy, a coral color, and a blue. And so I thought I'll use some of my Misty Moonlight papers, since those are retiring in April from Stampin' Up. Come on, there we go. I don't want to tear all the petals off, because they are really dried flowers. Oh, they had a cover over them. Aww. So that'll be pretty. So let's make a little collage behind that. Add a flower. And I need some birthday cards still. March is a busy birthday month for me. Yeah. I also was playing This is cheating. This is going to the journal side. After watching Gail Agostinelli, she did some splatter pages, and she did old book page, and I thought that looked really pretty. So I grabbed an old book page or two here, and I splattered some of my colors on there with the coral. Actually, coral and blue are going to be in my journal. That's what caught my eye with those flowers. So anyways, I did some splatters, and then I put one together as a little pocket envelope for practice here. And this is where I was going with my little journal pocket. So maybe, we get done with this card, I'm going to continue working on some of that boho stuff, and you're welcome to hang out with me. I'll stay on here for about an hour. So when I'm doing collage decorating on like journal cards and tags, I like to tear my paper. When I'm doing the boards or the pages that I'm going to cut down, they're just scraps and strips of whatever paper I have. Some of them have ratty edges, and I'll trim them to fit where I need them on the page. But when I'm decorating, I usually like to tear the edges. For a card, see, this one actually is torn there, and the rest are all cut, but that one has a torn edge. I guess for a card, I'm probably going to want to just keep straight edges. So we'll do, goodness, I have enough flowers. We could do them both ways, right? So I'm going to take a piece of Misty Moonlight card base. This is one I had cut from a previous project, so it's a top folding. And I have a piece of just basic white. And I'm going to use white because I'll stamp my greeting right onto my card front. And so then all I need to do is figure out a layout. I don't want large pieces, I just want them small because I am mixing some patterns here. Know that I want to mix this color, and this is all out of a card pack that was Harvest Meadow, I believe. Where did I just put that? My goodness, I had it. And it is a retired one, but it really, I love the paper in it. I probably should have got more. But anyways, it does have this little bit of, what color was that? Soft succulent. I'm trying to stick mostly to the blues and maybe some of the crumb cake. Yeah. Let's see. Can use a little of that, I guess. We'll keep the coral and the bumblebee, the other colors out of it. Oh, this is pretty. Oh, I think I'll cut a piece of that. I know it's not a scrap, but the other side. Oh, that side's pretty too. But we're going to cut it down anyways and just use little tidbits. So I'll just cut a 4-inch strip off, and that leaves me full sizes then for a card if I choose to use that paper. No waste. No waste will be had in this paper pack. And then let's just cut a little piece of this off here so we can fit it in. Oh, so how's everybody doing? We're good here. I guess we have another snowstorm coming our way. But it's going to be a spring snowstorm, so it may be heavy and wet, but I don't think it would last. That's pretty too, but that has a lot of that. Might be able to put a little piece in there. So let's just cut down some little, say, 1 1/4 to 1 inch pieces of paper. Whatever you have handy. I'll make this one a little bit longer because I think I'm going to have it go that way. Let's get a little piece of. This one's a little bit wider. They're also pretty when we use them in journals too, to go across then and stitch on them, to stitch the pieces together. Again though, since I'm not really trying to add too much bulk here to a card, weekend is kind of, we're going to grand doggy sit. The kids are, I don't know where they're going, but geez, I hope they realize the weather's going to be very chilly, so if they're going, this is out of that dandelion paper, but it was also Misty Moonlight. It was actually thrown in with my Misty Moonlight cardstock, that's why it's there. Yeah, so they need to, I think they're going to be outside for part of whatever this is that they're going to. They better take some long johns. And then we're back at it for this season's Bunko. Saturday night, so I'm really hoping that we don't get too much snow. Although it would lighten the roads up a little bit, make it easier to drive. Gosh, I hate driving at night anymore. Oh, it's gonna be cute. Let's see, do I want that side or... No, I think I want to keep it the plainer side. Trim this one down. You can see there are no measurements here. Wasn't anything to put in the description box because there's no measurements. These literally are little bits of paper. Okay, so we kind of have some papers here to use. Oops, get up there a little flare. And I have my Misty Moonlight ink. So I had a couple stamp sets. Oh, I pulled out my twines because I thought I might want to wrap a twine around here, either with crumb cake and has some blue. These are twine pieces that oh, that might be pretty. I just got these off of Amazon. But I also knew I had some in my little thing. What is this? Oh, it looks darker. This one's lighter. This one's heavier. This was from like the nautical, more ropey type twine than thread type twine. Let's see. Keep that little bag. Those come in handy if I need to send something to someone. Oh, that matches my flower more than the Amazon one does. So I think we're going to go with that. Set these up here for right now. And let's get, oh, do we want to put it on the left? With our birthday greeting on the top right. Yes, I think I do. So let's stamp our greeting onto a basic white card panel, and I think this is just, let's see, 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 maybe. Yep. Because I like to have just a very small border on mine. Although I could cut this down and have more of the blue showing in the background on here because our decorating is just going to be down in one corner. So let's do 4, a little bit of dirt or something on there. 4, what is 4 by 5 1/4? Okay, so let's cut it down just a little bit more. I wonder if my card base is cut wrong. Nope, that's good. So let's make this 3 3/4. So I'm taking off 1/4 inch from each side by 5. And this is just to show a little bit more of the blue card base around it, framing our, that might be better, since our design is smaller. Okay. Yeah. I had a couple of stamp sets here that I like the Happy Birthday font. I like this one and I like this one. I think I'm going to go, I like that. Finished up a bunch of card packs yesterday to take down to a little shop that displays my cards to sell for me. Those I've been in a little bit of a slump anyway, as I fall off my chair here. Just getting through the wintry months, of course, you know, and trying to sell some of my stuff on my Etsy shop, and not really being busy over there. So I was kind of looking forward to getting these new card packs done and taking them down there. And here are some of the terms are going to change at our little shop, and I've been basically just selling on commission. So if my cards sell, you know, I get some money, and if they don't sell, I don't get anything. So now we're going to introduce a little chip in this block. Wow. How in the world did I manage to do that? Anyways, now they're going to start implementing an artist fee, sort of like a vendor space fee. So I'm a little bit depressed because these are cards. I'm not selling furniture and stuff. You know how many of these I gotta sell to be able to do that, to pay a monthly rent? So I said, you know, I'm willing to give it a go, but I can't honestly say I'm going to stick it out for very long because I can't afford just to give money, right, for nothing. So I don't typically use glue stick, but when I am collaging, I like it because it allows the paper it allows the paper to lie flat on my card base without creating any ripples or lines behind it. You know, you won't see the glue marks behind it. Is what I'm trying to spit out there. Yeah. So between that and, you know, Etsy sales being bah humbuggish, and trying to figure out, still trying to figure out a good way to improve Etsy sales and postage, because the postage is what is getting me messed up. How's that going to look there with a pretty little tie around it? Can you see? Am I on screen? I'm down kind of far. Let's pull this arm down here a little bit. That's better. Yeah, that'll be all right. So maybe we do still need a little bit of design in the background. I did have a stamp set up here that has, right there, Quiet Meadow, because it has some splotchy marks. I could put some splotchy marks back there. I kind of like my collage piece there, though, so I think I'm going to put that together first. You know, maybe I don't have to, I have to quit saying "ta." Let's just try our glue and see how this works. I'm just going to start from the top and work my way down my little collage thing here, so I can keep them placed where I like them. And we'll just get enough glue on here to keep things in the right spot, and then we can go back and add more to secure it. That'll work for the moment. I can keep them where I like them, and we can add some little, oh, you know what? Let's add real splatter. let's not use a stamp. I have these out because right now Stampin' Up is having a 20% off of the mini cut and emboss machine. I mean, this is like unheard of. We use this all the time. You see me bring this up when we're die cutting and just doing little bits. 20% off. While I get my box, if you are interested in getting one of those little mini cut and embosses while they're on special, you can go to DianaBohoStamper.com and get on my shopping link from there. So sorry, I have two boxes. I have a large box that I use when I'm actually spraying in, and then I have the little box here that we can use for just our pen. And if you are going to go on and shop with me, and you use my March shopping code, I don't know if you can see that with the light shining the way it is. Good grief. Anyways, if you use the shopping code, I do send out thank yous to my customers when they shop with me. I know Val just emailed or texted me last night to thank me for her surprise gift. And I was thinking it shouldn't be a surprise unless she didn't realize that I did send out thank yous. And I'll tell you what this month's are as soon as I find my crumb cake pen. Crumb cake. Ooh, I have two. Well, that's good in case one of them's a little bit dry. Yeah, so let me see. Where'd it go? In March. Oh, yeah. In March, if you shop with me and spend $50, I'm going to send a thank you note or a thank you gift of the Craft White Ink refill, which we have used in a few of our projects. And when you spend $100, you're going to get the Craft Ink refill and the brushed brass butterfly elements. Yeah, so fun times. Okay, let's add some. Splatter. So I'm just using our Stampin' Up marker. This is in Crumb Cake, and the markers have a brush tip and a bullet tip on each pen. If you use the brush tip pen part and just flick it off of the inside of the lid, it makes great little splatters. And that's usually just enough to add a little more interest to our background and fill in some of that empty space. Exactly. What I want to be careful of is that I don't have too many. This is just thin paper. This isn't a heavy cardstock, so I'm not really in danger of having a wobbly top. But if this were cardstock and thicker, because this little flap hangs over a bit more, it may tend to make our little collage crooked. So what we can always do is just add another layer of paper on the back, trim it off, and it would even that up. I guess I can show instead of just trying to talk my way through it, right? I have enough scrap paper. So we're not going to see this piece. I'm just going to build up the layer on that back. So that when I lay it on the front of our card, actually, I do see a little bit of it. I don't want to see a little bit of it. It's the same paper, but it's a little wonky. There we go. So now that lays a little bit flatter on our card base. And we can just lay our little collage design that we've made. Add that to the front of the card. See, I think that's what's fun about journaling too, making journals, is we're using these techniques from our card making, but we can do it in a larger space and repeat it. You know what I mean? You're going to do it on more than just one page. So you get to collage more, and you get to add more elements. Oh, I blew on my finger. That's bad. I'll get it on my card. Great. Liking it so far. Liking it. Let's get our flower, and I think I'll add that little flower with a glue dot on the back and maybe a thin strip of glue down the stem. And then we'll add some twine and add it to our card base. Let me put a couple on here. Yeah, so one birthday coming up is, come on, a little release paper, is my mother-in-law, who will be 95 next week. God bless her. I don't really know how they hold these flowers together, so I'm trying to handle them delicately because I think there must be some fixative on the top of them. When I opened the cellophane there, I could kind of smell something like a glue. I don't imagine that they would, although I have one little flower over there that I picked out of the backyard one day, and it's still together. I just found it this morning. I had it laying in a little bag that I had opened up. And there was my flower in there. Well, I was going to use tweezies here. This little flower on. I don't know where to pick it up at. I'm so afraid I'm going to break it. Look at that. Here's my one I picked out of our backyard. It's tiny, but it's still there. I actually have a little photo album. I think it was called Grandma's Brag Book or something. I don't have grandchildren yet anyway. So, and I've had that for years. I think I probably found it at a garage sale or something. Anyways, I thought it was nice to just add flowers to it as I found them in the yard. And I had, excuse me, when the little violas pop up, I had picked a lot of those and put in there to dry. So when the interest in journaling came up, I already had some flowers ready. Quite coincidentally, because I think I probably had never heard of making journals then. Hands are so dry. Every thread and every string is just sticking ridiculously. I've been I'm trying to sew in the evenings, do some slow stitch, and also see a little piece of glue there I'm trying to avoid. Boy, my threads just stick to my fingers. I keep pulling it out of my needle, and like, oh, this is supposed to be fun, remember? It's not fun when I have to thread the needle every 3 minutes. And of course, when you're working on cards and stuff, oh my goodness, you don't really want to put lotion on before that, because the oils from the lotion can stain your cardstock. So just work with dry hands. And I do think, you know, the amount of moisture that the paper takes out of your skin really wreaks havoc. Oh, look, that's cute. I like my tie in the middle. Sorry, here I go with the little pickiness again. And now we can just add that to our card front. Aw, I like that very much. Very, 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 very much. Oh, only about 900 more to go if I want to use up all those flowers. Now I can use some of them in the Boho Journal. And I will make a couple more cards here. Let's do one with, should we do one with some torn edges and see how it looks? Can always add a couple of little gemstone elements if we need to. I don't know if I want to though. Kinda, I'm liking that. Cutesy? Cutesy. Let's do another one. Let's tear some. Okay, wait, we trim this down to 3 3/4 by 5 so that we had a little bit more. Oh, I don't have another card base ready. 3 3/4 by 5. And since I'm still using the same scrap papers here, let me grab a Misty Moonlight. I don't think I have any. Oh, see, there's another scrappy of that paper in there. I tend to do that when I'm making cards if I have little scraps of designer paper left over. Sometimes I'll stick them down in that cardstock. It reminds me later. Oh yeah, you have this pack of paper and it matches really well. Because I forget. So we're just cutting an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock in half at 5.5. And then we'll score it at 4 1/4. And there's our card base. So this is a side folding card base. And another basic white, make sure I cut that so I have a frame. And then let's just tear some little bits. And the key to tearing, you can see that one side leaves a little bit of a white strip and one side has no white edge. So the part that you're going to put on your card and you don't want it to have, unless you want it to have a white edge, if you're pulling that piece towards you, that shouldn't have that white border around it. I use my 2 thumbs to guide where I want my paper to tear. let's use a little piece of this. I'm going to take my edge off first. If I want it torn, I want it torn the whole way around my I'm watching for my little birdies outside. They usually come and sit in the tree branches and watch. There was a little titmouse out there earlier, but he left. He knows that the bird feeders are full, I think. Them and the little chickadees. They're my pretty regular visitors. Nobody today. Where are they at? My cats are probably sitting there at the door waiting for them. I like to watch out the back patio door. It's like their nature cam. So what those are called. Right, let's do the same thing. Thinking maybe I'll splatter with blue this time. That was Night of Navy. I don't even know if I have a Misty Moonlight marker. A little late to get it now. That's the color that's going away. Oh, I just almost brushed all those papers away thinking they were scrap. They kind of are scrap, but I want them. I need the blue on the background. Oh, I have an itchy nose. And kiss a fool. And then I'm going to do the same thing and work my way down. Oh, I shouldn't be gluing on my stamp pad here. End up getting glue on it. That would be yucky. right. And we can add it to the front. Oh. Yep, after we get our little snowstorm here, then it's going to warm up again. So, yeah, sinuses aren't going to stand a chance. No chance at all of surviving. They're doomed. I think Monday, oh, I had last week when I did my Stampin' Up demo on Monday, and featured, of course, the mini cut and emboss since it's on sale. And, oh, I just ripped my flower! Good thing I have more. There are also some Stampin' Die bundles that are on sale that they show some of the smaller dies that fit through that the mini cut and emboss, and they're featuring those on sale this month as well, and that's just through the month of March. I don't know if I said that earlier. Meant to. I guess I could put one in the middle. Anyway, I have a few of the featured bundles already, so I thought for the month of March, easy, that's how I rip my other petal. Couldn't get the backing off of it. My little take your pick go. And what did we use last? We used the sunflowers, celebrating sunflowers, which was kind of appropriate right now. Anyways, I pulled those bundles out that I have. There are more available than what I have, but I thought each Monday I could feature one of those ones so folks could see how those dies work in the mini cut and emboss. So, don't rip my flower, don't rip my flower. So Monday, what are we going to do Monday? It's a quiet meadow. Oh, Hydrangea Haven. I don't know if y'all remember that one. Really pretty papers that were in that kit, or in that suite. That's just a leaf, so I'm not worried about that. Maybe I shouldn't be using the glue dots. Maybe I'm better off just with the glue. And in the Hydrangea Haven stamp set, there's a couple of stamps that will be good for Mother's Day cards. So I think we're going to do a hydrangea card on Monday. Where my little tweezies go. Try and put this on here. A little glue under this one. And let's glue that leaf down a little bit more. Oh, I think there was some on the back. I just didn't press it down. Alright, let's tie a little tie around this little baby, and that'll be 2 done. Do we want to try, what do we put on the other one? Let's use some of the crumb cake. Crumb cake twine. Oh, I have a knot in the end. I'll hold on to that. Cut it off when I make my little bow. I probably should have held the other end on there then, if that's the piece I'm going to cut off, you ding dong. Well, these are cute. These will work for the couple of birthday cards that I need. Yeah. I think Nanny will like a little flower. One of them was going to be for her. One for a friend of mine who is on the same day as my mother-in-law. That's Nanny. And then, oh, my girlfriend at the end of the month, so I'll need another card for her. Come on, fingers, you can do this. You can do it. Oh, you know what? Tie the knot first. Yeah, that didn't prove to be that easy last time either, though. Just to try. This has to be the most frustrating part, is not being able to hold those strings. Yeah, I was going to tell you too, last night for dinner, I made little Tex-Mex pizzas. You know, trying to stick with a little bit more of a meatless diet and eat healthier, which we don't eat a lot of meat anyway, but anyway, I made these little Tex-Mex pizzas. Oh my goodness, they were so good. I just got some little pita shells and toasted them in the oven until, you know, maybe like 10 minutes, until they had a little bit of a crusty to them. And in the meantime, I cooked some peppers and onions and black beans and corn, added a little cilantro and cumin. And, oh, and then I added a can of Rotel diced tomatoes, because the original recipe that I saw, you could use salsa, and I knew I didn't have salsa. But I thought that if I used my Rotel tomatoes, then that would allow me some time cooking those peppers and onions and beans down to make them a little softer, and it did. So then when hubby got home, I just had to add the topping on those pita shells. I sprinkled a little bit of orange cheese, some grated cheddar on there, and popped them back in the oven for about 10 more minutes to warm them up and melt the cheese. Oh, they were really good. I think that's going to have to be like a regular. So there we are. One with torn edge collage and one with just cut edged papers. Cute. I like those. Very nice. I'll just add my centers and my inserts, and those ones will be ready to send. Yay. Well, one send and one handoff for Nanny. Yeah. Right. Well, I have all my junk out. Well, it's 10 till, so I'm going to say I'm calling it a card video. You are so welcome to stick around with me if you like. I'm going to work on my journal pieces here for a bit. I had, so if you're not interested in making journals or seeing any of this stuff, then you may want to say bye-bye. And if that's what you do, bye. Thanks for being with me. And come back next Monday and check out we're going to use, the hydrangea stamp set. To an Incredible Woman. And then I have, I know why. I was going to say, I thought I had Mother's Day. It was on, this one, Happy and Heartfelt. Happy Mom Day. To an Incredible Woman. Yeah, so that's going to be Monday. So if you're leaving me now, stop back Monday, and if not, come back Friday, and we'll do some more, my battery. We'll do some more paper crafting next Friday. I don't know what we'll do on Friday, but we'll do something. All right, so moving on to, let me set these cards up here out of the way so I don't forget where they're at when I go to send them. This was, I just put it out. So this was another little ephemera piece that Gail had shown one day, and it was so funny. She had put one together just like this with paper clips so that she would remember how to do it. And then when she went to make the other one, she was being all flustered and couldn't remember how to put it together. I was thinking, Gail, you have it right in front of you. That's not too hard, So I followed her instructions, and I cut one out, and I put it together with paper clips so that I would be able to see how to make a second one. And then I got some paper out, and I got some blues with stripes and polka dots and stuff. Would be cute to put in this journal. And do you know, I struggled to the point where I set everything down and walked away. I don't quite understand what the deal was there, but geez. So this morning I pulled them back out because I knew I was going to work on this journal a little bit, and I was like, why was I making that so difficult? Yeah. So, and I'm afraid to take it apart and show you because I'm going to go plug my iPad in here. I'm afraid I won't be able to put it back together. And it's so cute. So I'm going to have this. We're in the journal. So I'll talk you through what she did. She took 2 6x6 papers. And I don't know, maybe it'll work better if I just do it again. This one's together. And I'm going to glue it in my journal. So I'm not taking it apart. And what I say, I have blues and corals in there. And I did put the link to my digital download of the Romany dancers. I cut out a lot of the ephemera. I have that ready to go. But there's some pretty turquoisey blues and corals. I print on parchment paper a lot. So my color may look a little different than if you were printing yours out on just white paper. Aren't they pretty? They're so beautiful. Oh, and this will be a belly band. I think I want to put it here, and that was why I left it. And I need a couple more sheets for in the signature. I don't know if I want to do 2 smaller signatures, possibly, instead of one large one, because once we start putting pockets and stuff in here, they always get thick and hard to write in. So I'm thinking, maybe 2 smaller ones, which means I have to go back through and divvy this back up. And I may have to print a couple more pages with the dancers on them. In which case, it's going to have to wait. I have to go get more color ink. My printer's screaming at me that it wants fed. So actually, for that yellowy dancer, this bumblebee color looks kind of pretty. Where'd she go? Oh, yeah, maybe. And then one of the coral flowers, because I was thinking, when I saw those flowers at that flea market, this was the one thing I was thinking I could use them on, was this little pocket that Gail had shown us how to do. So if I do one with the yellows and maybe add a coral flower or blue and then put the coral flower on the blue one, that might stand out better. So anyway, let's try this. She took, and I think that Gail had said she saw this first by Corey Dahman. So, trying to see what patterns I want to use. Or do we want this color? No, I think I want the lighter. Yeah. Alright, let's do the circles and the font, if I can make it work that way. Okay. And I did jot myself some notes on this one. And so she made 2 sets. And I didn't go back. Oh, I only, ding dong. So you need 4 sheets of 4 6x6 sheets of paper. And we're going to make 2 sets of these actually the same. And so on this first one, she had a 2-inch flap and 3.5-inch fold. Not necessarily a flap, a fold. So I'm going to score this at 2 inches on this one and turn it in. And 3.5 inches on the other one. And it was a little confusing too because I was trying to figure out what paper I wanted to go next to what. And then they just fit inside of each other like that. Seems so simple, right? Right. Okay. So let's do these ones in the opposite sides. 2 inches on one. I'm wondering if I should do it on the other paper on the other side. Maybe that. And I think that's where I got mixed up last time because it was a matter of what sides of paper I was trying to, see that's not going to work because three and a half. Doesn't really matter. Almost has to go this way this time because I like the font showing. So it can go this way or it can go, this one doesn't matter because it's not got a directional pattern. Go like it the other way. Okay, and those fit inside of each other. Oh, wrong side. So there we go. The 3.5 is on the back. That probably works nicer with the font back. Oh, it's just what I ended up with in the first place. Ay, ay, ay. And then this second one that we made slips right into the first one that we made. We're going to glue these together and it becomes a pocket. This is a little pocket. She stitched a little notebook here, and this was a pocket, and this was a pocket. Now, why was that so hard? Why was that so hard before? But you see right here what I've done? I already am not being happy because I have my two papers together, the same design. Okay, so let's just take this out. Okay, and then put it back in. That'll work. Yep, that'll work. Okay. Oh. And that's where I got mixed up before, was trying to put my papers the way I wanted, that and thumb notches, because now we have to make thumb notches for stuff. And she did trim a little bit off of this to make it easier to get our tags in and out of. So let's just not take it apart. Let's just take a 1/2 inch off of that and leave it right where it belongs. Okay. All right, so we have a little thumb notch here. Remember too, I'm not an inker, so if you prefer inking your journal pages, you're going to want to do all that before we start putting them together. A little thumb notch here. Okay, now when we turn it over, again, I'm going to take a little bit off of this one so that it will be easier to get my tag in and out of. And I'm going to want a little thumb notch. Can she do this holding it all together? I think that was all for trimming. I have little thumb notch tabbies all over my shirt. Flying out of the punch. Okay. Everybody just stay together. Hold it together, folks. Okay. This one. Now I know why she was laughing at herself so much. Really, this should not be this hard. Oh, don't even come apart. Good grief. Okay. One on this side. And then there's one on the back. So there's like a ton of spaces here to put little cards and tags. All right, and we'll glue it together. And so really it's just making two little interlocking papers. One has a 2-inch fold and one has a 3.5 inch fold. And then putting the two folders together, right? Like I said, doesn't sound like it should be hard. Oh my gosh, I'm determined to pull it apart again. Let's put these back. I still want to find a couple more pages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's only 14. But what if I do like 7 and 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. See, they just lay so much flatter. And then I might have to rearrange my papers a little bit because all of my dancers are on the back except for that very first one. So I might rearrange them. I may even print them again too and add them in again. Alright, so let's put this together before I just really mess it up. So this is going to be a pocket here. So we need to and I suppose it wouldn't hurt just to go down the center here. And I don't know if it's going to make a difference that I didn't plan my little notebook paper to put in there. I might not be able to do it once one's all glued together, but I have to get one together so that I can see how it goes. Okay, one. Then the same thing here. This is going to be a pocket here. Just stuck my finger in the glue. Okay. And over here. I hope I'm staying on screen here. I have my iPad right beside me now, so I can't see what you're seeing. There. Have a little crinkle in that paper. I'm going to glue it down, but there. And then this one. And that was one reason I had made some of those collage pages. I know I'm going to need tags and cards. I mean, look at this one alone is going to take how many? So we'll have one in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 5 in here alone. And I made the blue one to go in there, which I have to glue together. Oh, that'll work. I can still add a little notebook in here. Yeah. So we will take some we'll take just some little paper and put in here and stitch down the middle so that when you open it up, you'll have a little notebook. So there was a quick piece of ephemera, not necessarily quick, but a piece of ephemera from Gail. And then I'm going to decorate these with some dried flowers, but I'll add a little bit of backing and maybe some of the little fussy cut pieces that I cut from that digital download. Some nice ones on there. And I'm going to trim that up a little bit, I think. I'm afraid to. I'm afraid I'll mess it up. So there's the first little pieces for our journal. And I'll continue working on those. If anyone's interested, I'll share it from time to time, my progress that I'm making. And come back and visit with me again. So thanks a lot for being here. And you all have a wonderful weekend. See you next week. Bye.